Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Yes! This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jumping Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Love the enthusiasm. Yes.
Yes. We are back, and today we are going to talk about Army of the Dead from this year, 2021. Zack Snyder movie on Netflix. Joel, who is in this?
This one stars Dave Bautista. You might know him from, his WWE days back in the day.
Yeah.
He was also in Blade Runner 2049. He was in a comedy called Stuber that came out a year or two ago. He will be in Knives Out 2 that comes out.
Oh, all right.
And Dune, which comes out this year as well. And post WWE, people might know him as Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, in Marvel. So,
do you know his finishing move?
I don't. He wasn't really one of the. So I watched WWE when it was WWF.
Yeah,
mostly from like 98 to 98 was probably the biggest year that I watched it.
Okay,
98, 99. So I don't remember exactly when he came into the picture. I wasn't.
Yeah, he was later.
Yeah. So I wasn't a huge Batista fan.
His move was the Batista bomb.
Oh, man.
It was a sit down power bomb.
Nice. I am kind of a fan of his acting though. So he's gonna be like a Rock kind of future movie star here. This one also stars. So this is where I kind of, the rest of the cast are, for the most part, no-name people, and they kind of had the same amount of screen time. So I wasn't exactly sure who to put for these next two. But I did put his daughter, Kate. Her name is Ella Purnell. She was in Maleficent, Kick-Ass 2, and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
All right.
And Ana de la Reguera, she's Maria, the love interest of his. And she was in Nacho Libre, Cop Out, and she's going to be in the Forever Purge, as well as in 6 episodes of Eastbound and Down.
All right.
This was written by Zack Snyder. He did the story and the screenplay. He wrote Sucker Punch, everyone's favorite Zack Snyder movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League, 300. And so this is interesting. With this movie, he has a contract with Netflix for more movies. And so he's going to be writing Army of Thieves, which is going to be a prequel to Army of the Dead.
Oh.
And there's also going to be I don't know if it's a prequel as well, but it's, I think I'm going to be talking about it here in a second, but Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, which is going to be an animated TV show.
Okay.
So they're gonna be having fun with this series.
I guess
in the
so.
future.
Wow. All right.
So it's also written by Shay Hatton, who did John Wick 3 and 4, or gonna be John Wick 4, Army of the Dead, Lost Vegas, the animated TV show, and also Army of Thieves. You're gonna be writing that one as well.
Okay.
And I have one more writer. It's had 3 writers for it. So, Joby Harold, who wrote Awake, the Jessica Alba movie back in like 2007. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series for Disney Plus, and an Untitled Transformers project.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Transformers, huh? We're going back to that.
They're still doing those. Yeah.
All right.
And this was directed by Zack Snyder, who directed Watchmen, Army of the Dead, Lost Vegas will be what he's going to be doing next, and Dawn of the Dead. I had to throw that one in there since it's, connected only in a zombie way.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Only in his horror way.
So this one is about a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. A group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. There you go. All right. So this one, I remember seeing the trailers, thinking it looked really cool, really awesome. And then after watching and reviewing Dawn of the Dead, was pretty stoked to watch this one because Dawn of the Dead is awesome. Really good zombie horror film. So let's see how this one lived up. Joel, what did you like?
For one thing, I know we're probably going to be doing it quite a bit in this, comparing this to Dawn of the Dead. I feel like it's a little unfair to compare them, just because, they are 2 completely different things altogether. Like, Dawn of the Dead was already an existing project before. This is an actual original, so I have to give it to Zach for that, first of all. For when he jumps into lately, as far as his horror movies go, he's only done 2 of them, so let's see how he does in the future. But he has to add something different to that genre, which I really respect. Like, Dawn of the Dead, he was the one that added the running zombies. People will say that it was 28 Days Later, but that's not technically a zombie movie. As far as this genre goes, he was the first one to do that and got a lot of hate for it from original Dawn of the Dead fans. Yeah. Zombies don't run. Zombies don't do anything. So zombies don't exist, so you can do whatever you want with them. So that was really cool. And then with that, he decided to go a step further with his zombie movies and added a whole I don't know what's for hierarchy of zombies, where there's there's alphas, there's there's kings, there's queens, there's a whole thing going on.
It's like their own civilization.
Civilization, society and everything. And some of them can dodge, some of them are your typical, slow moving zombies, but others are fast. He's got them all covered basically in this movie. And I really like that about this movie. It adds a layer of suspense to the zombie genre when you can't predict what they're going to do.
Sure.
So I do like that about this movie. I like Batista's character in it. He was, just basically the badass of the group. Yeah. Making the guns look incredibly small in comparison to the rest of his body. He's a big guy. Yeah. And his character was cool. I liked the concept of the movie. I love the concept of the movie. You have a heist within a zombie apocalypse, which is not something that's done ever, just because money's irrelevant in a zombie apocalypse. But they managed to make it so that money is is actually still relevant in this world.
Right, because it was just all quarantined off.
Yeah, they've been able to contain it to Vegas, so the rest of the world is still able to exist, basically.
Yeah.
So I really like that, and I like if you don't. So, like I said, I love the concept of the movie more than I like the execution of the concepts.
Okay.
Honestly, but if you turn your brain off for a couple hours, for 2.5 hours,
yeah,
and just have fun, it's a lot of fun. It's a good action, like, blockbuster popcorn flick type of movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't have to think about it too hard.
Right.
And you can just enjoy it. In that though, because Dawn of the Dead was probably like one of my favorite zombie movies, I kind of put this up on a pedestal before actually watching it. I had higher hopes for it than I probably should have. Because, like I said, it is a lot of fun. It does definitely have its flaws, which we'll get into. But it is a fun movie. And, so I like the action. Batista, I'm going to talk about the other characters here in a little bit, because most of those characters are not good, but they're not bad either. They're kind of like, they're just bland characters to just basically just to get killed off.
Yeah, just kind of fill time.
Yeah, for the most part. But there are a couple characters, at least one in particular I'm going to be talking about here in a little bit. But but so I do like his character. I like the action and the concept of the story. So those are probably the biggest things that I can think of. I do love the montage at the very beginning too.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
I like that. Yeah, it reminded me of Zombieland.
Yeah,
the intro to Zombieland.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that was a cool beginning.
And he's good with his beginnings. Like Dawn of the Dead was the beginning of that was really cool too.
Yeah, yeah.
So keep up the opening scenes.
Right.
There, Zach. For sure. So yeah, that's. I'll probably think of something else when you're talking, but
okay.
For the most part, that's pretty much what I have here. So
all right.
And sorry,
go ahead.
Some of the kill scenes are pretty cool too.
Yeah,
you have to say that.
Yeah,
some of them kind of caught me off guard there too. So
sure.
All right. I don't know if we're gonna be talking about spoilers at all in this.
Yeah, I don't.
It'll have been out for a couple weeks by the time this is out, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know if there's too much to spoil, but I guess if we get really specific, then there is. But the movie is what it looks like it is. Pretty much. Yeah. So there's not any twists or anything like that.
No. There was one with the love interest, though. I was just saying.
Yeah.
That was probably an intense scene.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I like the soundtrack. I thought some of the music in it was cool. And the kills, some of those were cool. And like gruesome, which was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the idea, like you were saying, the concept of, a quarantined area and people going in to perform a heist. Yeah. That like basic concept is really cool. And like you said, the execution is just the issue there. And that will be all.
Oh, wow. All right. There's not a whole lot you liked about this. I think the biggest thing was the music. All right.
Yeah. The music and the kills are what I will, if anything, remember this movie for.
Yeah. Okay.
I will not watch this movie ever again.
Wow.
Tell you that much.
All right. Okay. Well, you have some deep feelings there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on a little rant, I think. So you go ahead and tell me what you didn't like first.
All right. Wow. So trying to think about it's bad when you have to like think about where you want to start with your negatives.
Where should I start?
So I'm gonna start from the end.
Okay.
And work my way back, or I might just jump around. I don't know. So one of the things that I might start at the very end of it because it's funny that you mentioned music because besides the okay, so the use of "Zombie" by the Cranberries.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
That song is so overused now. These days, I feel like that song like just came out for some people.
But at the same time, the song does not fit this movie.
No, it's just
in one
the name
bit.
Zombie.
Yeah.
It's
just Zombie is in it. So I was like, okay, I don't know if that's an appropriate use of this song.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense when you look at what the song's about. But
no, it really doesn't.
It just has Zombie in the title and in the chorus.
And it's funny because for someone like Zack Snyder, who I think actually does pick his songs for a lot of the movies that he does, he usually does a good job. Yeah. So I'm like, what are you thinking with this particular song?
You know what he's thinking is
movie?
This is a hot song right now. For whatever reason, this song, there was that cover that came out that was, all over the radio.
Still like 3-4 years ago. That was still a couple years ago.
Yeah. But, and then I feel like other bands have been doing that song in like concerts. And then I believe the singer of the Cranberries died.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what brought this song back up, like resurfaced. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I've been hearing it and like seeing it in movies or in just pop culture. So I'm thinking that's why he picked it. It's recognizable.
It doesn't fit anything else besides, it's popular right now.
Right. No, for sure.
So I was like, all right, that's a little bit disappointing for someone who handpicks their own songs for their movies.
Yeah.
He usually does a good job with it. I was like, okay, that's whatever. That's not nitpick than anything. I think as far as negatives go.
When I say that I liked it, like it was a positive, that was a stretch. I just liked them because I knew the songs. Yeah. I think that was why I liked it.
Hey, Viva Las Vegas in the very beginning was a good one. Yeah. Because that actually, fit what's going on.
Right.
As far as where they're at.
Yeah.
In the movie. So this movie leaves off on a cliffhanger. And it uses the old cliche of somebody was bitten, and instead of telling somebody, they're going to hide it until they turn, which is going to cost, more lives.
Right.
It's an overplayed cliche in the zombie genre. And that's exactly how they decided to end this movie. And I was like, all right, well, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. You need a sequel. Because they completely bombed Las Vegas, which isn't even a spoiler. It's in the preview.
Right.
So just basically them wiping out all the zombies. Just it's there. It's in the previews of the movie. It's going to happen at some point.
Right.
So those two things, and that's like the very end of the movie, like the last couple minutes.
Well, and what I really didn't like about the end with the whole cliche ending, like you were saying, is everybody else turned really quickly.
Yeah.
But this guy took him quite a while.
Yeah.
So
it did.
That didn't really match up with the rest of the movie. So
unless he was bit after he got out of the vault somehow. I don't know. Because it doesn't even show him get bit.
Yeah. I just assumed there was like a struggle between him and one of the zombies, and when he got locked in there, it was like right before that, and so I just assumed that's when he got bit, but I don't know. He was able to get out, get to an airplane. He was able to do quite a bit before he turned.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't really like that. I would have liked it more if it was just over. He got out. He got the money. we're good to go.
Yeah.
But no.
And that brings me to another point as well, is the whole... So the owner of the casino, the owner of the vault, the one that hired them to do it, even though they mentioned that he already got the money for it. Like, this is a pointless mission at this point because he's already been reimbursed the $200 million.
Yeah.
But this is going to be tax-free, so that's different.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's going to be getting even more money. He was saying that you need a safecracker. You need a couple people for this mission. And I'm just like sitting there like, why does he need a safecracker if you're the one that owns the vault? Can't you just tell him what the combination is?
Yeah, tell him how to open it.
And then he doesn't even mention that the whole area is booby trapped. Like, if
they
hadn't attempted with those zombies, they all would have died.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that would have been a pointless mission then, if that's. But I mean, I guess it all goes further into him not really caring about that as much as the head of the Queen or the Alphas in general. I guess that was the real mission. That one dude was, at least that one dude. I don't know if he went rogue on that one.
Yeah.
If that was his mission or if that was the original mission that he decided to hold from everybody.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, I love the concept of it, but it's just like the way it was handled. Just like I was saying, you have to turn your brain off and just be like, all right, this is happening.
Yeah. Right.
There's going to be casualties and things are going to happen. Just have fun with it. It's a zombie action movie. It has some horror elements to it, but it's more of an action movie than anything, which I kind of got from the trailers. Like, it didn't really feel that horror to me in the trailers, but we had to do it because it's, Zack Snyder's second horror movie from Dawn of the Dead. So I really wanted to do this one here.
Yeah. Like you said, I was hoping for a little more horror, especially after Dawn of the Dead and what he did with that. But, it definitely looked more like an action-packed, like Zombieland kind of movie, but more
but
action.
Not funny.
And not funny, yeah. So, but it did look cool. Like, the trailers made it look really cool. And, at least fun. So.
Yeah. And, like I was saying, turn your brain off, and it is a fun little action movie. Fun little zombie movie. So, Kate, I have to throw her under the bus here for a second.
Okay.
So, I didn't watch this movie for about a week after it came out, just because I was out of town and didn't really have access to Netflix at the time. Like, not a bigger screen anyway. I didn't really want to watch this on my phone. And I know I was hearing people like either loving this movie or hating this movie, but there was something that kind of everybody had in common, which was the hate for a character named Kate, who is Dave Bautista's daughter in the movie.
Right.
And so I was really I was paying attention to like what what all the hate for her was about. And I mean, there's really no other way. Like, she literally cost several people in the group their lives, like just because she was running off to find a friend of hers, which I understand. Like, go and try to find your friend, but there was one rule that Dave Bautista had, and it's you can't just stay with me the entire time. Yeah. And she did not do that. And because she did not do that, like 4 people died. Yeah. Because they had to go off and get her. And
try to get her,
all for one person who, I don't know, spoiler alert, dies. There's no other way. I mean, that is a spoiler. But, so it was pointless anyway. Yeah. And it's like, so you were watching the news when it said that they're going to be bombing Las Vegas a day earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you decide to go. It's like, what was your plan once you find her?
Yeah.
Like, you only had a couple hours left. Were you going to... How are you going to escape?
Right, yeah.
Basically. Like,
you find her and then what?
yeah. And then, we're going to die together. Cool. That's,
And, I mean, it was, it might sound a little cruel, but this was kind of her choice.
It was.
This is what she chose to do. I mean, I don't know.
It was a stupid choice. But it was her choice.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if that was your daughter, would you, like, just not try to go rescue her? Like,
right.
it's, I understand his reasoning for going back. I mean, she shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Not her. I'm talking about the girl that she's trying to help.
Oh, yeah. It was her. Yeah,
it was her choice to go in there. Yeah.
Yeah, for a slot machine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's going to get you, like, she was talking about maybe $5,000.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Is that going to be worth your life? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, so she was probably my biggest issue that I had with it, just because it did cost several people their lives.
Yeah.
And it's like I pause on a lot of stuff because something I was gonna say is actually kind of a spoiler as well. So,
Okay.
Again, so it's just like, I mean, there aren't a lot of spoilers, but there are a couple in this movie that if you haven't watched it, like, I don't know. I mean, I recommend it if you are just wanting to have fun with a horror movie for a couple hours. That's another thing. The movie could have been shorter.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I mean, I like long movies. They have their place, definitely, but this could have been a little bit shorter.
Yeah,
and they could have trimmed at least 15 to 20 minutes off of this movie.
Yeah.
Still would have been over 2 hours long to do that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Zack Snyder is a guy who loves his long movies.
Yeah. But looking back, Dawn of the Dead was probably his shortest movie.
Yeah, probably. Why now it's still close to 2 hours long. Which I like that. I like long movies if they're good.
Yeah.
If they're good and it's necessary to have that length in there.
Right.
This didn't really feel necessary to have it that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna let you go on your rant now because I mean, I feel like there's more that I could be saying about this negative wise, but I'll see if we have the same opinions on
Okay.
when you go on your rant here. So
Okay, cool. Okay, so this movie, so there are bad movies, right? So there are movies that have like bad writing, bad acting, plot holes or whatever. Yeah. Everybody's going to agree that that's like a bad movie. It's like in your face bad. This is not that. This is not a bad movie in that sense. Mm-hmm. This movie, though, pisses me off. Because this is not what I want horror to turn into. It's a zombie movie. Mm-hmm. This is over the top CGI, over the top action, so much slow motion, and just like you were saying, the popcorn summer blockbuster type movie.
Yeah.
And I don't watch those movies because they bore me. So this is like basically if you're watching a video game mixed with the Avengers and Fast and Furious. Like it looks like a video game, a lot of the movie. The whole scenery, the whole environment. Las Vegas does not look like Las Vegas. It looks stupid to me. It looks like a boneyard full of like just rubble and which I get was the point.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
it's like Las Vegas.
It's supposed to look run down, but you don't have to make it look that crazy. Like make it resemble Vegas at least a little.
They probably don't have any lights on in that city at this point. Like,
yeah,
That's what
true.
makes Vegas.
Yeah,
so
but they
bright.
couldn't have like signs, like more signs. I don't know. It didn't look anything like Vegas, and
Okay.
I was kind of excited about the idea of like a zombie apocalypse type movie on the strip. Like I think that's interesting. Like playing like Resident Evil games.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, they take place in like, or at least some of them take place in like a city and Raccoon City, and like there's parts in the game where you're walking through the city, and it's just it's kind of cool because it feels real, because it's like your average town that you're walking through, and it completely takes you out of the realism of the movie when the scenery looks like that. It didn't even look real. It looked fake. The zombie tiger looked dumb. I hated that. I thought it was funny because of the Siegfried and Roy show that they do with the tiger.
Yeah, they even mentioned that in the movie too.
Yeah, and they mentioned that, so I was like, okay, that's kind of clever. But then he was like a main character at times. Okay, you guys are doing too much with this zombie tiger, and I thought it looked ridiculous. I didn't like the zombies. I thought they were over the top. They didn't look like zombies. They
kind of felt like an iRobot type, or not iRobot, but I Am Legend.
Right.
Like those zombies.
Those zombies, yep.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was any suspense in this movie. It was all action. Speaking of I Am Legend, there was a lot of suspense in that. And it took place in a city that looked like a city. So there's a big difference there. And, the action, the slow-mo, all that stuff is just so cliche.
Well, the slow-mo is that's just Zack Snyder.
Yeah. No,
that's just what he does.
I know that he does that probably more than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
While some of the fight scenes and action scenes were cool, they were extremely long, and that like totally takes me out of the movie. That's why I don't like superhero movies for the most part, because the action sequences are so drawn out that I just turn my brain off and I don't care anymore, and then I think of other stuff, and now I'm not even paying attention to the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's what this felt like. The zombies sounded like dinosaurs.
Yeah. I can they were supposed to be talking to each other, so I don't know how exactly a zombie communicates.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're like roaring and stuff. Yeah. And we were talking about in our review for Dawn of the Dead with the like screeching scream that that is taking over the zombies and demons and monsters, and everybody sounds the same.
Yeah,
that was definitely in this movie for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see if I got anything else to add here.
I mean, no.
This is Hollywood. This is a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And I really hope that this does not give any other horror directors ideas or places to go in horror, because horror should not be this. Not for me,
you didn't like anything
least.
About the zombies? Not even the fact that, how different Zack Snyder's deciding to change up the zombie genre.
I did not care for
movements
it.
And
no, I didn't care for it.
They're thinking, okay.
No, I don't want them to think. It's like they're
not my zombies.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you were saying that, people were upset about the running zombies. That I can get behind for Dawn of the Dead, because they still looked like zombies. They looked like people who were dead coming back to life. That had just been killed. They look like people. These zombies looked like creatures, like monsters or something. And no, not. Just like no.
Well, some of them may have been, decomposing. We don't know how long it was from the time that the very beginning started to where we were at the end of the movie.
Right.
They don't really go into any details. It could have been like a week. It could have been a couple of years. We don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So. The beginning was cool. You know, I like the opening scene where the, I guess, lead zombie breaks out. I did think that was cool, and the whole montage was cool. But then it turns into a Hollywood action. The reason why it upsets me is I just don't want this to be something that we see going forward when it comes to zombie films or horror in general. This had very little horror elements to it to me, and I don't want this to become a thing.
I mean, you know, this kind of, the way the style and everything kind of reminded me of like a World War Z type of a movie.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't watch that movie. I'd never seen that movie, and I remember seeing the trailers and thinking, okay, this is a Brad Pitt zombie movie.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And the trailers looked cool, but they did also look very ridiculous.
It looked very CGI. And
so I never watched it.
I only watched it once, and it's not great. But I mean, as far as that goes, that's kind of the vibe, even from the trailers I got from this movie. Is it kind of had like a more of a World War Z vibe than Dawn of the Dead, especially with like the CG. I mean, I did make fun of a scene in Dawn of the Dead that was over the top, which was the zombie baby CGI. And there was even a zombie baby in this one, but this one didn't make it. And it's just like it's like Zack Snyder listened to our podcast and just did the exact opposite with this movie. Just be like, okay, you didn't like the zombie baby, I'm going to give you all CGI.
Amp it up, turn it up to 11. But I heard one of the characters, I think the helicopter pilot, I heard she was like digitally put into the movie.
So
something like that.
So they had another comedian in that position, and there was some sexual misconduct going on that he was in the news for and everything. So they fired him after all the scenes were already done. So yeah, after everything was, they were in like post-production, and they fired him. So they got another comedian, her name is Tig Notaro, to take the place of I forgot what his name was. But yeah, all of her scenes were digital, done behind a green screen, and she was by herself the entire time.
That's crazy.
Filming these scenes. So
I mean, that's pretty impressive, because you wouldn't be able to tell.
No, you wouldn't.
That she's not there with them. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But
that's where a big part of the budget, I'm sure, went to.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other
that
thing.
Done.
That's the other thing. I looked at the budget. IMDb says it was $70 million for this movie.
Had to have been more than that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's more than that.
Yeah, this was more like at least $150 million. I was thinking that was like around the budget that they were going for.
And I look at that and I'm like, man, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, time, energy to put into this. You could have made 20 good horror films for the amount of time and effort and money that went into this.
Yeah. Yeah. Good horror movies they're
not expensive.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah.
They're really not.
Yeah. So, okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, no other negatives or positives came to mind while you were talking about this. I feel like there's something though that I'm missing, but I don't think that there is. It was just, like I've said a couple of times with this already today, with this episode, it was longer than it should have been. It is one of those popcorn horror movies that you just turn your brain off and just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. It's really nothing to take serious in this movie. I would probably watch it again, but it wouldn't be right away.
Yeah.
It's not one of those. It's maybe a once every couple year watch for me, I would say.
Okay.
So if I'm just in the mood for a mindless horror movie.
Yeah. You would have to pay me to watch this again. It's 2.5 hours.
It is a really long movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, what if it was 2 hours? Would that change your mind at all, or no? Okay,
no.
So if it's the length, then I mean, half hour is not that.
Yeah, no.
Big of a difference.
Yeah, if it was 1 hour, and I was paid, then yeah, I could probably watch it again.
Wow. So I take it you're not gonna be there first day for those sequels and prequels and whatever.
No, not excited.
Zack Snyder's doing with this series.
No, not looking forward to those.
I don't know about the animated one, but I kind of want to watch the prequel. Or I don't know.
It doesn't even seem like it'll be a prequel to Zombies, though. It seems like it's just going to be a prequel to that team.
It probably would be like the first 15 minutes or something like that. I feel like is a whole movie right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with that team and everything. Because I mean, there was a scene in there did his wife just die? Like there was a love interest in there who had a kid that got crushed.
Yeah.
It was like it's not his wife because we see his wife in a flashback.
Yeah.
It's like, how many love interests does this guy have? They all end up dying. Come on, dude.
All right, let's grade it.
All right.
What do you got?
Well, you're probably going to give this a lower score than me. I did have high expectations for it going out of, Dawn of the Dead for his, second ever horror movie, Zack Snyder. So I was a little disappointed in that. But at the same time, it still was a fun movie. It was an enjoyable time if you just turn your brain off. So I'm going to give this one a 73.
Okay. So, like I said, it's not a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it does piss me off. So
for the future of horror.
Yeah, well, and just the movie itself pissed me off. I mean, it's everything I don't like about movies. Pretty much. So, because of that principle, I'm giving this a 10.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
I think
I'd rather watch bad movies before I'd watch this.
I think I was thinking. I think there's one movie that you graded worse than that, but looking back, I think you even gave
Black Christmas
a higher grade.
Yeah, I'd rather watch that again.
Oh man,
yeah, that's a bad movie. But
it's a horrible movie.
It's a really bad movie. But I can at least laugh at it. There can be parts in it where I can laugh, or I can be like, "Oh, that was so dumb." I can get some sort of entertainment. This movie, it put me asleep. I have no entertainment value for me. So. It's a 10.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is the worst movie that we've done so far in Danny's eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
We've reviewed. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's going in the record books, folks.
There you go. You can make another one of those. Let's see if we can get lower.
Oh, man. All right.
Well, so there we go. There's Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. From this year, 2021. It's on Netflix. Don't watch it.
Watch it and just turn your brain off.
Yeah. If you watch it, send us a comment or something. Let us know what, who you agree with. Do you agree with just turning your brain off and having a good time? Or go to sleep?
Is this the downfall of horror?
Yeah.
Which I can't really give this one all that credit because, like I was saying, I did compare it to World War Z, which did come out like a decade before this one.
Right. No, and I don't. What I'm worried about is the success of this movie being then something that other directors take as a model for success for horror.
Yeah,
I really don't want it to go in that direction. Because I'm sure this one is getting a ton of plays on Netflix, I would imagine.
Oh, it probably is. I think it's still number one.
Yeah.
After about a week.
Yeah.
Being out. Or, a week from the time that we've done this podcast.
Right. All right. Go find us on Facebook. At Scare Talk Podcast. On Twitter, we are at Scare Talk Pod. And on Instagram, we are at Scare Talk. Give us a rating, a review on Apple Podcasts. And that's it. This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the zombie tiger bite.